Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt,
I'm John.
and today we're going to get started on Mega Man X3.
For the Super Nintendo, for all
Now,
those
I
wondering
want
if
you
we're
guys to know. Sorry.
good. I'm sorry. I'm just getting it out there for all those that want us to do the PlayStation version. No.
Anyway, I got my ton of practice in. Unfortunately, I sort of goofed up when I was supposed to be practicing. I practiced well and hard by beating up X4 and X5 rather competently. So then when Johnny told me we had to do X3, I sort of had a shutdown.
You fool! Well, we're not going to skip X3 to get to the better ones.
Oops. Well, it's not that I completely hate X3, but I have to admit, after the brain scratch run, my reflections of this game kind of dulled in a way. Like, you were right. Like, I kind of forgot about the point of this thing.
For those unaware and for those that didn't watch the brain scratch run, I've made it clear there that this is actually one of my least favorite X games in the series. I am not a huge fan of Mega Man X3.
I would play this to X4.
You would play this over X4, or you play X4 over this?
I would play this over X4, though it would really leave me wondering why. I mean...
But I don't understand why, John.
There's two... Like I said, I'm sure you know of the two types of logic. The brain logic and emotional logic. And the only reason why I would say I play this over X4 is purely an emotional logic thing.
Did you grow up with X3, or
Nah. I grew up with X2 and I grew up with X2 and X1 and X5.
anyway, you wanna...
But the thing is, though, it's just that... Personally, this is just pure subjective, I found X4 dull. That's just utterly subjective. Like, you like it, hey, I'll respect your opinion.
I'm sure we can get into that as well, because actually...
Because we are going to be doing X4 anyway.
Yeah,
I'll be doing X, he'll be doing 0.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you want to give the audience here what exactly is going on in the story of Mega Man X3.
Alright, Shinji Mikami heard of something called the Doppler radar, so he decided to transplant that onto the guy known as Dr. Doppler. He plans on having a weather control machine go apeshit and destroy the world or something like that. Ergo, X and Zero decide to put an end to the Mad Weatherman.
The Madman.
However, impeding our path before that are 8 different adjective animals.
We have 8 more Mavericks.
No, we have animals.
Oh,
adjective animals.
Adjective animals, I'm sorry. I thought they were robots.
That's what they want you to think.
By the way, I think this is like the longest intro sequence. That's not X4 or, Actually, I don't remember how long X5's was.
You know what? I did laugh at X4's intro, just because the voice acting.
Oh no, but X4 had animated
awful.
X4 had animated cutscenes that were just horrendous and they entertained me.
I was laughing myself stupid at some of them.
But yeah, we're about 2-3 minutes in. We still haven't done anything.
You're gonna hate when we do Persona 4.
Oh Jesus Christ! I heard stories.
I love its story. I love the game to death, but damn that intro. Mold 7.
No, it's the X4 chip.
X1.
Hey, no, X3. Damn
Son
you,
of
Matthew.
a bitch! You can tell already we're off to a bad start. I forgot to hit start.
The demonstration. Yeah, so from this point forward, Matt's gonna be taking over the X series for the Brain Scratch, really. For not for
Brain Scratch, okay.
I'm doing it for Brain Scratch, so you know, with the exception of the first 2 X games we did for this channel, Matt will be taking over for the rest of the series because he likes X about as much as I do.
I love X3.
More.
I like X3, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And 2.
So yeah, he'll be taking over for the rest of the channel. So without further ado, Matt, please.
Without further ado, we moon jump onto a bug.
We can't jump that high normally.
So anyway, Zero got put back together. Don't worry, folks, he'll die.
This crime will not go unpunished.
Exactly. That's what Zero's known for. Death.
So what are we attacking? We're attacking Doppler HQ, or this is the main Maverick Hunter HQ?
Reminds me of the Maverick Hunter. It reminds me of some... I think we're just attacking a factory, that's all. That's all I got.
It's like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
What's the context? I don't know. Why the fuck are we going to Madagascar after they have time to blow up a death robot? Anyway, X3 is different in the way that, you know, they actually make projectiles a fucking threat in this game as opposed to something you could just bum rush right through. That's one thing I can respect about X3, though. It's nice to have a mook pose a somewhat credible threat and actually reward the player for playing defensively, as opposed to other games where you just get hit, run through, and it's like Sonic, only the difference is instead of a time bar, you got a fucking life bar.
I agree to an extent. I agree that it's good to have a Mega Man game, well, I should just say games in general, that have the mooks that are capable of really dishing out the pain. You really gotta keep an eye out and know how to maneuver around them. I don't like when X3 makes all the fucking mooks like that. because that's what one of my major complaints of X3 is the high difficulty curve in the beginning. Enemies really fucking hurt in this game.
That's because your life bar's so goddamn low.
Yeah, there's that too. But holy shit, we're playing a 0.
Yeah, he has a double shot, which I'm not going to use because of invincibility frames. That'll hit and that'll go right through.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. But there is also another weapon that Zero has at his disposal.
Something we love to see. By the way, on the test playthrough, I fell right down that hole with Zero.
Remember, I just rebuilt him at X2, so he's still getting used. He's
still
feeling back
kicking
with his
in?
legs. Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who didn't know hit run of this game. Who cares? Good for you.
Hey,
You fucker!
That's the rule of the internet, don't you know, Matt? If it's not an A rank, don't even bother uploading it.
Shit. I wasn't aware we fell into the dictatorship of something awful with that. Nope. Anyway, boss battle on Mac. Who shoots Bubble Beam? That's who this guy is. Elemental Hero Bubbleman.
Son of a bitch. Well,
or Evil Hero Bubbleman.
well, yeah, I was gonna say evil because I can't draw 2 cards. But yeah.
Thanks, Zero. I fucked up.
That Zero has a much bigger life bar than X, who for some reason always starts the game completely nude, no parts from the previous games, no heart.
I like to think every time he gets a firmware upgrade, he has to lose everything he had before.
Well, I actually hear like the justification in game is that he feels he doesn't need it anymore because he gullibly thinks that maybe peace will finally come to the. What am I saying?
Yeah, right. Anyway, the sky turns red. By the way, one thing about the Zero mechanic. What I think the game is supposed to theoretically do is you're supposed to use Zero as a means of like bird feeding X for a while.
Yeah.
Until you get better at it yourself. Oh.
Well, I don't even know what the hell this thing is.
Mook.
Yeah, it is a mook. Every X game begins with a giant ass mechanaloid that's intimidating in size, but very easy.
Now, the one thing I was about to say about the Zero mechanic before I lost my train of thought is that they were supposed to have you bird feed with that until X got stronger on his own.
Yeah.
Problem is that Zero, if he dies, you lose out on a lot of good shit, and you arguably get the bad ending. So you end up feeling a little too cost prohibitive for using Zero.
Yeah, that's actually if Zero loses his life just one time, you can't use him for the rest of the game, right? That's not exactly a fan of that limitation.
Yeah, right.
But you are free to switch out of Zero back to X at any point,
or
but
before
you can't.
The mid boss.
Yeah, but you can't switch back to Zero once you do that. And Zero can't fight bosses either.
Right.
And he can't collect items.
Right. So why is he here?
I don't know.
It's like other M's 3D. It's like other M's completely 3D Metroid segments. I'm grateful for the support, but when Prime already showed you could do it perfectly well on the first-person perspective, and you have to fight in the first-person perspective in Other M, what's with the third-person shit?
I have no idea. You're going at the Tunnel Rhino first, huh? Okay.
Yeah, only because I really need the tool. So if I die here, you know what? We're going to introduce you guys to a special guest on this Let's Play. Say hello to SNES 9X. Made a star through Quadraxis 14 and heavily riffed on by Slow Beef himself.
Yeah, very much like I got hit by a rock. We're pretty much using the same method as I did actually for the Brain Scratch one, only
because fuck you.
Because fuck you X3. But because this playthrough is actually live though. It's just not post commentary. So Matt's playing the game right now as he's talking.
And I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me a few times by a couple of bosses. Notably, who's the mid boss here? Door Raper.
The Door Raper, yeah. He's gotta have a name. They can't be.
Hey Johnny.
They can't be on a business card.
Ding dong.
Ding.
Hey-oh! Thank you and good night.
Oh, great. Anyway,
first D tank in the game. By the way, fun little mooks. As Johnny pointed out to me when my test playthrough, they will charge their shots with you. When charged up high enough, it can really fucking hurt.
Yeah, not an instant kill, but considering how pitiful X's health bar is at this point, it might as well be an instant kill. That's a very
ominous looking doorway.
Yeah.
What if there was a toilet in there? Bathroom break. Oh shit! And I'm gonna die by this thing.
Yeah, it's actually another thing that I think X3 is the worst at. Because technically all X games before this did it too. Mm-hmm. You know how you kill an enemy, then you off-screen it for like a millimeter, then you come back and it's there again?
Yep.
X3 I think is the worst with that, if only because of the level design.
Well, it's more so that you're going to be constantly backpedaling to avoid a lot of the obstacles. By the time you blow one of them up, another one's taking its place, and you're going, "What am I fighting for?"
X, we've been through this. Now go and stare at the sunset ominously.
Don't shoot me, you idiot! Oh fuck! That was the easiest boulder in the world to avoid, and I would have got hit by it. That's why we're not playing Tomb Raider.
You really have lost your touch, X. If only you kept all that shit you had at X1 and X2. You know, it's not until like X4, 5, and 6 that he decides to keep the shit he got from X in the previous games. Like X6, he immediately begins with the Falcon armor he got in X5.
I blame Linux.
Linux? Damn.
I don't know.
Here he is.
Ding dong. Ding dong!
As long as you stick to the wall, Ding Dong has a very predictable strategy. He will always... The reason why he's ramming the door in the first place is to get you off of the wall. But if you let go of the wall right before he rams into it, you're free to hit him in the head.
Yeah, you also have to face the wall here, otherwise Ding Dong's dong will actually hit you for touch damage, and it fucking hurts.
Yeah, there's another...
As it should, judging by the look of that
Yeah,
fucking
this thing is pretty big, so, you know, high damage is, you know...
A given.
Believable. But he has another attack that he can do if you don't get the pattern down just right. He will actually attach himself to this. He will launch one arm to the ceiling and another arm to the other wall. You know, attempt to air ram you, wasn't it?
Yeah. By the way, did I get him? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't say. It's a flash of 2x for X. Folks, if you hear any sort of like waterfall in the background behind Matt, it's raining outside.
No, we're playing in Niagara Falls. live from South Carolina. It's Mega Man X3, and that totally deserves an SNL opening skit. Boink. So I kind of like some of the music in X3. I'm not gonna act like it's one of the best in the soundtracks, but I do enjoy Tunnel Rhino. Because, like I said, I've always oh shit.
Oh, see that hurts.
That's why I prefer to
get out of here,
Ben. Oh shit.
Anyway, you were saying?
I do like some of X3's soundtrack, even though it's like heavy on the rock. I'm like, that's kind of the point for this one, at least.
Since the Brain Scratch run, there are a few tracks that have grown on me since then, but my critique still applies, really. You know, because I understand they were going for a more heavy metal approach with X3,
right?
And I can appreciate that. It's just that I don't think the Super Nintendo can pull that off well without it making a lot of tracks sound the same. You know?
I think they're distinct enough. Neon Tiger, Tunnel Rhino. I can tell them apart. Anyway, you think this guy's got something different? Be careful of that feint. Ow.
Hey, what were you saying?
Tunnel Rhino is pretty much, hey, I'm gonna go to the right, I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna go right, oh, fuck, I'm gonna go to the left, I'm gonna go to the right. He's one of the easier ones to take out, but admittedly, if he starts fading you out, you're gonna have a problem, because if he easily throws off your pattern, it's somewhat hard to recover at times.
Yeah.
Alright,
but ladies and gentlemen, make note of this strategy. Because sometimes we're not going to be seeing the last of this throughout this playthrough. The Tunnel Rhino pretty much charges left and right. He will occasionally shoot these 3 drills that go in sporadic directions, but they're still relatively easy to avoid.
Yeah, pretty much like a Rhino would, really.
Yeah, this strategy makes sense for a Rhino.
Although, I don't want to hear how, like, this would have been really good if, like, you know, because they're trying to attune to, like, animal habitats, because I have not seen any seahorses that, you know, dissolve.
Oh, what a time to get an itchy nose.
Tell me about it! Come on.
The glowing, do you remember what that does?
That makes them invulnerable and it powers up their next attack.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's another dumb shit thing that X3 likes to do. Temporary invulnerability.
Yeah, so
thankfully, unlike Final Fantasy XII, this only lasts for about 2 seconds.
And unfortunately, one of my favorite things to do in the previous 2 games is not in this game anymore, because I guess they fixed it. Dash trick, where you can do the little damage with a regular pellet shot by dashing and shooting at the same time. Doesn't work here anymore. Oh well.
Anyway, I now have
wireframe.
A drill. This is a drill. There's a reference in there.
Tornado Fang.
This thing sucks as a fucking weapon.
I will agree. I'm not a big fan of a lot of weapons in this game.
Pause.